a couple weeks ago, there were all these sightings of a creepy clown in Green Bay. He was walking around the streets of Green Bay at night, horribly haunting clown with black balloons. And there was all these sightings, there were pictures, and it made national news, and before you knew it, it made world news. So I first saw this on WBAY News in Green Bay, and then I saw an interview with this gentleman in USA Today. It turns out he didn't want to, well, I'll let him tell the story, but it basically is the marketing campaign behind an independent film called Gags the Clown. And joining us now to discuss this brilliant marketing campaign, and hopefully his film, which is just as brilliant, is Adam Krauss. Adam, you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey, thanks for being with me today here on WTMJ.
Yeah, thank you, Pete, for the offer. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. So I have to ask you, give us a little background on you first before we get into Gags, if you would, please.
Yeah, sure. I live in Green Bay. I went to school for film at UW Oshkosh, and I've pretty much been making independent short films ever since. It's just a passion of mine, something I can't really let go of no matter how hard I try. And
have you tried?
I have. Well,
really?
I mean, as I get older, and try and settle into a more serious job, it's just it's something that I've tried to move past, but I really can't. It's just it's too much fun for me. It's too much fun creating and producing and planning and directing and putting it all together. I absolutely love it. So
your background plan of being a barista was shelved so you could keep making films, your true passion.
Yes, absolutely.
Great. Okay, so I should mention I host a show on Wisconsin Public Television called Director's Cut. Independent film is a huge part of my life, and
sure.
As a writer and filmmaker myself, I've had many times where I've been working on a project and people will come up to me and say, hey, you know what you got to do? You got to make a video or you got to make it go viral. And they make it sound so easy. And honestly, they're right, but it's very difficult to do that. How did you tell us where you got this idea for Gags?
Yeah, well, it's actually like a thing. Like it's called clown roaming or clowning, and you can Google it and you can see other instances where it's happened. A lot of them have come out to be, just that, publicity stunts, but others aren't really explained. And you can just watch videos from all over the country of people who do this. And I came across the story and I thought, well, that's going to make a great idea for a horror film. And I love the horror genre very much. And I started thinking about it, and nothing else was coming out. No one else was doing it. So I'm like, well, you know what? I have this idea. I wrote the script, and I'm like, well, I'm going to shoot it. And because I found out about these real-life clown roaming stories through, social media and the pictures going viral, I knew the possibility of Gags or the Gags pictures going viral was very good. Now, did I think it was going to go as viral as it did? Absolutely not. I was hoping to cause a stir within the city of Green Bay, and the fact that it's spread throughout Wisconsin, throughout the United States, and then even throughout other countries is just, it's unreal.
And
really
quickly,
is.
It spread very quickly, right? Talk about that when you, let's say you wake up and you check your Facebook account or Twitter, and all of a sudden, talk about that when you saw how far it had gone. What was that like?
Yeah, for sure. No, I posted the pictures at 2 a.m. on August 1st. And then I had, between me and some of my crew, I think just 8 people set up to share it who knew it was part of a film. And they had large networks, so I knew if they shared it, other people would see it. And I remember I checked to see how many shares it had at 2 p.m. that day, August 1st. So 12 hours after I posted it. And it was already over 500, and I was just like, oh my goodness! I was hoping for 100 shares, and here we had 500. And then every time I refreshed the page, it jumped by hundreds of shares, and
wow.
it was really, really cool to see, just refreshing the page and just seeing how instantaneously these pictures or that post of the first Gag sighting was just being shared, and how fast it was going. It was nuts.
That's great. We're talking with Adam Krauss, the director of Gags the Clown, and he will be with us in a couple more minutes. This is Pete Schwaba, 620 WTMJ.
What, are you a cop? No, I'm a clown. You look familiar.
You ever been to the circus?
Oh, when I was a kid.
Did you like it?
Well, you know, it was fun. I was kind of scared of the clowns.
Are you still scared of clowns?
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite scenes from Seinfeld. Pete Schwaba, 620 WTMJ. I'm joined on the phone by our guest, Adam Krauss. He is the mastermind behind the Gags the Clown viral campaign that took the world by storm. Adam, I got to ask you, after such a great marketing campaign, is there any fear that the movie will not live up to the marketing campaign? Does this put more pressure on you as a filmmaker?
I won't lie, yes.
Yeah, well, I could see that.
Yeah, I've thought about that. I'm very happy with the film we have. Super excited to finish it. I'm actually in post-production with it right now, hoping to have it done by end of September. But no, that's definitely crossed my mind. I mean, in the end, it's a 15-minute short film. I mean, it was.
Right.
I think a lot of people, because of the hype, assume it's a feature, and it was a short film from the start. So. Yeah, that's definitely crossed my mind. You know, there's a lot of hype, and now I have to live up to that hype. But ultimately, I wanted people interested in the film, and that's what I got. So
yeah, I think it was brilliant. I mean, the black balloons to me were the creepiest thing. I mean, you know, Gags looked creepy, but those black balloons in the parking garage. And you said at one point you were worried about safety. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. No, we took the pictures, weeks before we actually posted them, and people just assumed that the clown was out roaming around for a long time. That he wasn't. It was an actor of mine who I work with out of Appleton, named Eric Hoovelman, and he was maybe outside for 5 minutes, and we snapped a few pictures and brought him back in the car just so no one would see him. But at this point in the campaign, I had wanted to bring Gags out in public and get real, true sightings. But we just weren't able to do that because of the number of threats we've received through the Facebook page of people who, would claim to, just do really awful things to this clown, even after finding out it was just for a horror film. I mean, they still, whether it's just they're that scared of clowns or they're just, they're just, that type of person. I don't know. But, I mean, we continue to get, the internet trolls and everything continue to send threats, like, of what they would do if they see this clown. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I will say I thought the police chief in Green Bay handled it well. He said, look, they can do this, and if something happens, we'll deal with it accordingly. So, and I also, I did stand-up comedy for years, and I still do it periodically, and I've worked with people who are clowns, and I could never get past when they would say, well, I clown a lot. I do the clowning. And it takes me back to when I was a kid and my dad would say, quit clowning around. I can't take clowns seriously, not that I'm supposed to, but why are people scared of clowns? They used to represent happiness. What's going on there?
I have no idea where that shift happened. Somewhere along the lines, they went from, bringing people joy and entertainment to, bringing people terror. I mean, I think... did Stephen King's It really just transform an entire generation into, people who are afraid of clowns? I'm not sure, but they're definitely, this is more evident to me now than ever, is that people are terrified of clowns. Like, the sight of a clown terrifies people, and it's nuts. I mean, I can admit they can be creepy in certain settings, but I've never found myself afraid of them, but a lot of people are.
We're talking with Adam Krauss. He's the director of Gags the Clown and the mastermind behind the viral campaign for Gags the Clown, his film. Just in closing here, have you had any opportunities? Have marketing companies reached out to you about doing some work for them?
No, I've had quite a few requests, people who want to get involved with Gags, Gags merchandise, Gags, there's a lot of fun things that I've been working on through people who've contacted me that have wanted to, this Gags character has really grabbed on to people and people really enjoy him. And so I've gotten a lot of requests like that, but nothing from, marketing companies saying like, hey, you did a really good job, anything like that. But I've gotten a lot of compliments. I've received a lot of praise on how we execute it, and I'm glad to hear that because we did put a lot of thought to it. So,
well, I wish you a lot of luck, and I hope you execute the film as well as you did this. And why not make it a feature? That's what I think you have to do.
yeah, it's the idea's been. Trust me, the idea's in my head right now.
I'm sure.
I've been thinking about it. So.
Yeah, great. Well, great talking to you. Thanks for being with me today, Adam. Best of luck.
Thank you, Pete. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.